Jai Shri Sai. Jai Shri Sai. Let me first thank the graceful lady who has spoken so much and is conducting this program. This is supposed to be a retreat, and it should be a spiritual treat for everyone out here. The Sai American Foundation, which started basically with the Jainas talking with me and we coming in close contact. That was as simple as that. Always things starts with individuals, goes to groups and spreads around. When you start anything, you may not know where you are going to land up sometimes, but nevertheless start. Some people wait all their life to find out where to start, and then land up in where to end. It's wise to know where to start and when to start and start. You agree with me? Yeah, I know. So the Sai Global Foundation, of which I'm supposed to be one of the guys, and this African society have put together their resources. I had come to this place 3-4 times earlier. And who have put their resources? Basically, this was started as I come from Eastern India, like Colorado, like Florida, or say Carolina or something. They have a different language, and India has a lot of languages. That's called Odia group. It started as a Odia diaspora, 90% of the Odia diaspora. Where it has a language of 73% Sanskrit. So we can understand other languages in India. There's a lot of it. So this group to which I belong, ethnically, from my childhood, they came along here. I know many names to be said, Rattababu and Haripatra and whosoever here, and Vishwajana, and many I can name. They will tell you entire people who are there. We came together and I found that the soil is ripe to put a seed to grow. If the soil is not ripe, you plant a seed, give whatever manure or what you like, the plant shall not grow. First is find out which is the soil in which you will grow a plant. Apple grove or something like that, whatever you call. So we had a very humble beginning, and this humble beginning today has landed up in this about 500 odd people coming from New Zealand, UK, Canada and India. A lot of them have come. So much so that people who are real lovers, like Mr. Mishra is sitting here, professor, he has difficulty even in walking. He has come with his wife, helping him. I was married for 55 years or something like the wife. Being together, the strength of India is family system. I'm married for 42 years and most of the people are married for as many years for understanding. Come with him. Where they have come with lot of difficulty, broken hand, he fell down and they have come. That is the spirit. The spirit behind a movement is the willingness to be together to work for the cause without friction. If there is a friction, there must be an inbuilt system to remove the friction. If you don't remove the friction, there will be heat and temperature, and the organization shall never take off or take away, rather delay. In all our movement, most of the movements that we went, we thought that let us have a frictionless, chaosless system in which you can survive. Everybody will survive. Everybody will grow. But how better we survive in shortest period of time is the wisdom. What did the saints tell you or tell us? All saints, call it Christ, call Baba, any saint, anywhere. They told one thing. Empathy and love has to be the solution for all the human aberrations of human mind. There is no other solution. Even material support, economic support, political support, you do whatever you like to each other. But at the end of the day, what solves is empathy, love, and understanding. That's the end of it. If that is not there, a building with an idol is like a museum in which the doll is there. We don't want museums of deities and gods. We want living presence of the very theme for which religion or spiritualism exists. Religion may be different, but spiritualism is the same. The spirit of human being to observe others and be absorbed by others and to grow as per the law of its own growth. When I am saying this, many of you may think it is as plausible and not possible. Sometimes if we strive, the plausible becomes possible. But we are afraid to try a possible. And that is where the saints are like the, would you mind your, I'll just stop. Thank you for the cooperation. That is where the saints told us, a saint is not a stamp given by the state. A saint or a spiritual personage is not a rubber stamp given by the law and the state. It is the acceptance of us, of the kindness and virtue of that character or high character, so that we find a role model to follow it. Everybody needs a role model to follow in life. It may be your father, it may be your neighbor, your sister, whosoever. A role model is necessary by human beings. Therefore, the biggest role model they created is God. The highest role model for us, beyond the saints, is what is written in Hindu Gita or Bible and all religions. There is a role model depicted as such by people who are role models over the time. And it has not only a spiritual purpose, it has got a utilitarian purpose. Because when the concept was God was not there in the Stone Age, still human civilization survived. Think of one thing. There was a time when technology was not there, like today. We did not want to have space, buy space in moon and go on a honeymoon journey to Mars tomorrow, 20 years hence. Space thing that's going on, I'm very interested in that. At the time there was no medical science, though no technology to survive them from the natural disasters, and no concept of God to run to for succor, no church, no temple for succor to run. Yet human civilization survived. Why did it survive? Because the thought process was simpler. They survived because what they say they meant in the tribal rule. Human, that's why it survived. Had they been very critical with each other, they would be killing each other with arrows or bows. Human society survived because of the simplicity of thought at the time, if not intellectually so developed as today, an instinctive approach to life and naturalness of life. Okay? So how can one think of a Holocaust today? The world will be destroyed. With so much of space science, everything, up to genetic analysis and cloning and all that, because one small disaster comes here, or a comet comes here for which we are already ready and be destroyed. That is not correct. I don't believe it. I believe that even in the worst conditions, human beings have a capability of facing it and overriding it. Whenever, if nothing else, they will invent and discover about it, the greatness of this country. Whenever there's crisis in the world, they invent and discover things, whether in the Second World War or thereafter. Cancer management, space management. Face it as such. God is a word which many people don't understand, but they use it. Most often repeated word is God, but very less understood. God has to be felt. If it is not felt, it is language. You can have one can have a master's in that subject. A man doing a master's in religion need not be necessarily spiritual. Like I did my master's in political science, but I have never joined politics. So what that all means has to be clearly understood. Why are people coming down a bit to this master for whom we are now together here? Is that he made life simpler for his devotees. Earlier there were a lot of restrictions by the religious bodies. You must do this, you must do this, you must do this, ethical standards, everything. Frankly speaking, ethical standards or other standards, I always believe humane standards are the best. Then defining what is the moral standards, ethical standards, and fighting over it for no reason. Better develop what is humane standard in which we live happily together. That humaneness is the essence of, and should be the sense of any movement, including spiritual movement. That is what he did. In the most crucial juncture of Indian political history, in the late 19th century, when the British had come in, and the Muslim kingdom was going down, and Hindus did not know where to stand. 3 power centers and 3 cultures, 3 religions, 3 languages, Urdu, English, and our Hindi, etc. It was a uphill task for anybody to balance them in a point. It needed a character so lofty and yet so tolerant that he could hold together these people in a common theme of humanity. That is what all is about Shirdi Sai Baba. We follow this model. He is a model for us. I follow this model because today's world, between you and me, let us say, you are a God's child, the priest is a God's child, a saint was a God's child, God is everywhere. Between me and God, should I have 3-4 buffers? Like I'm purchasing a house and there are 4 buffers. You deposit money with somebody, you deposit it in the bank, it must be cleared by that fellow. These various buffers between love of God and love of me towards Him is one of the greatest impediments in the evolution of spirituality in the world, or human beings. Between me and God. Okay, priest is fine. But that extent, but if I am directly, why not me directly? How can you have a feeling via media, X loves Z, it must pass through Y? Is possible. I am invariably thinking, if spirituality, love of God, it has to be X to Z directly, or X to Y. How can you have another factor in the middle? Only to help little helping friend, okay, that's fine. Therefore, I'm putting in very, very simple words. Shirdi Sai Baba told us, you don't have to go to uncalled for, arduous, not necessary, outdated, slow-moving rituals. Outdated, slow-moving rituals, which has bogged our mind because we from childhood we saw it and did it, and going on doing it without questioning why you are doing it. Where is that God who has told you that don't ask questions? I have been asking questions all my life in a more scientific, rational way. Yet I don't know one question. Even if I do a puja, or I do a puja, I know what exactly I am doing, not that I don't understand that. Don't understand the hymn's meaning. Don't understand why are you doing. Just go on doing a repetition as if you are starting with the 7 2s or 7 3s. Even without any of these hymns, any of these references, if one purely thinks and concentrates with a love, as you do to human beings also, and how much time you spend over that, how much sacrifice goes in that, it works. That's what I'm saying. This is what is all about Sai Baba. And look, he came from the main message that I'm going to give you now. He came from outside Shirdi. Nobody knew. Nobody knew his parentage. Nobody knew what he read. Nothing. They knew that he came there. Now what he did, he worked in a manner to get assimilated in a community which was initially hostile to him. The community was very hostile to him. They did not know what this man is. He came and assimilated himself to the community and helped everybody. Ultimately, when he left his body, everybody was with him and one was with him, vice versa. Therefore, wherever we are, Shirdi Sai devotees, whatever institution we meet, we must merge with the local community, help them. Now they are giving the Luli Foundation, Indian Foundation. That's okay, fine, good enough. But then in New Zealand, we had given, I think, Fiji Island for flood, 5,000 something. Some was another 10,000. I think Fiji Island, I mean, how much? Yeah. 12,000. This is the money grown in that land by us because we are giving. Don't think you are all from India. I mean, that's not the issue. Issue is wherever you are standing, please help the community. Like Chicago did the same. What is the spiritualism that doesn't expand in me beyond that I am a Odia? I am a Odia, no doubt. I will be stuck to my soil. But what is that spirit in me that doesn't expand to go to others? Beyond that, our love of our country or of our place should not restrict us from loving others, but nevertheless not neglecting. That is one, because he came, nobody knew. He was different language and everything was different. He worked in a fashion, he was adopted by the community and he uplifted the community, and now the world has become his community because everybody there. So this merging with the community is the first essence. Forget the rituals and artis that anybody can do. Everybody is doing hymns and Sundays, mass and all that. What is the essence? Essence is this: absorb yourself to the community and do for them. Stand by people in their distress. Don't waste much money in ceremonial practices. It's better give that money to help people. That's the first message or thought that I have. Second, build it for the next generations. Because I am going to be 70 this year, complete, another few days. Okay. I don't look like that. It's okay, Shirdi, thank you. And to be truthful, I don't feel like that either. Because I don't want the child in me to die. If the child dies in me, I can be inquisitive, I can be searching. There's nothing more to search. I'm an old person with dotage moving in the rotundity of the space or the globe. The earth is rotating, rotundity. I'm one of those presumed bygone characters. Live every day. Third point, children should be, don't push children with old ideas. Allow them to open up. Because whatever I've done for 70 years, I'll go. So the things created, they will live more time and grow. Therefore, give them that freedom. Walk with them for some time, understand them, then tell them what to do. Don't start giving lectures on 34 years educational system 40 years back. They will not understand you. It will never happen. It will never happen in history, and therefore they call that each generation is a rebel to the earlier generation to create a rebel for themselves for the next, for future. Instead of calling the word rebel here, I can say, why not assimilation? Why use the word rebel? It is a process of understanding. Maybe the process of understanding has difficulties. Like two objects touching each other, the friction, there will be heat and there will be a crash. So two thought processes can also have friction. And it is but on the other hand, by friction only electricity is produced. It doesn't always burn. Electricity is produced by the turbine is moving by friction again. The positive use of friction. How do you make the positive use of friction of mind? How do you make your pain creative? These are all energy form happening. When you are in pain, we go on fretting ourselves as if our life is getting destroyed, and that's the end of it. Because I think that I am center of the universe, so everything in the universe should fall in line with me. I don't want to think that I'm a small particle moving in the space with a very limited time. I want an identity in this space as another space. I want to displace space and have a Shadian for me out there. Who can do that? Time and space, one can push the space to a side and stand there because he has a few $1,000, $1 billion. Ridiculous. That is why these masters in their essence tell us this simple way. In my house, in my childhood, my mother used to worship Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, another master, perfect master. So if you read his life, I may have read more than any of the Bengalis would have read by now. You will find the simplicity of this man. The spiritual powers do not recognize they are the spiritual powers. Let me tell you very nice. Because the ego, which recognizes your superiority, is not in them. So they will go and move with the blind people, with beggars, with prostitutes, whatever to help them. They don't say that I am so big, I cannot go down the poorest. No, never, sir. Then he is not a spiritual master. That very ego which recognizes that I am big, I am married, I am so and so, that is effaced, and that's how they become sympathetic and so sober. Till that is certainly not removed by reading books and by talking to all. So that little simplicity. That little simplicity is. Next is assimilation. Like at house, we are 3 people. 3. We can't assimilate our thoughts within ourselves. We are fighting every day. And then we are doing the community service, we are taking the community church. Hold on. 3 persons, community services. They can't assimilate their mind. How will they assimilate in a greater reality? I am yet to understand this issue. And why can't we absorb a little more of things and expand our spirit? That will benefit us, not others. We have to learn what, instead of thinking of what weakness my neighbor has, or neighbor's wife has, okay. Isn't it better that I think what weakness I have, if I remove it, then my relation with the neighbor's wife will be better. I would not fight it daily. Okay. Who doesn't want to have better relation with the neighbors? Therefore, and the other thing I will tell you, for this it is experiential, first hand, direct. Spiritualism is not in building temples. I think a moneyed man can build temples. Who has money? So much of institutional, in United States, so much billions and billions of dollars have been given for causes. You see hospitals, MD Anderson, everybody. India, it converts to temple building, mostly. Same thing. Rather, I should say, this is much better, because it is directly helping the people. If our temples, if they are helping the people directly, it is worth it. If you are not, of course, they are doing in India, large scale. But this is what it is. So don't think that a temple is the only medium for public service. There are 20 other mediums for public service. And in times they have changed. Let us accept the change, social change. Let us accept the reality of environmental change. Let us accept the reality of human psychological changes that are coming. Psychological changes are coming a lot. Therefore, Shirdi Sai Baba was telling He used to eat with people on the common platter. In a place where there was like racial superiority in some countries, there is superiority of a group called caste. He did not have the superiority of any differentiation between the. Have the chocolate, that's a good one. Concert. Now, with this, please read the books. You don't need, frankly speaking, when somebody says he's a spiritual consultant, I'm not one. I'm scared of spiritual consultancy. Online. You know what is a consultant? There was a little creature with 1,000 legs. What do you call it? Yeah, centipede. That centipede was living happily for some time. But one day it found that because of defect of genetic code, he never imagined it would come. He has got arthritis. Now, you and me having arthritis with 2 legs, bipeds, and a centipede having arthritis is a pretty bad thing. Oh hell. All the 100 legs paid. He went to a consultant somewhere here, and the front desk girl was there from Ohio. Okay. No. She says put $100 first, then we'll see what to do next. So he meets a consultant. The consultant talks, sees all the people very seriously and shows the chart and the American medical instructions and all that. Now just look at the simple logic. I've seen all that. What you should do, you remove 50% of the legs. So instead of 100% legs paining, it is 50% only. Very good. He gives 100 bills and gets an operation done. I think it's must be about $3,000 or $5,000 something. I don't know. Whatever. Hope there is insurance. You know what it is. Then for some time he feels a little easy, but the whole body weight now comes to 50 legs. This is true in spiritualism also. I tell you why I'm taking you here. How we do wrong things and land up somewhere. So 50 legs removed out of 100, but the body weight did not reduce. Now the body weight is on 50. After the sedatives were over and the painkillers stopped, the centipede finds Mr. Alex Centipede, okay, let's call it Mr. Alex, finds that it is double the pain. Then he rushes again. The lady says $1, $100 more. Then he tells him that I am doing this. It is paining and this has happened now, what do I do? Then he said, see, the point is that legs did not get used to carrying double the weight. And you left the sedatives and the painkiller. You should take the sedatives a longer, let the legs get used because they must have a time cycle until. And chop off another 50%. Now you use it 20%, 25%. Then he lands up the third day saying, working with 25%, my body is now crawling. It is touching the guy, all the vibrations, doctor, what the hell should I do? Then it is said, ablation? Oh, I'm sorry. But this will also get used. Law of nature has created us so critically that all problems to be adjusted, thou shall also be redeemed of this. And reduces further legs. Then ultimately it could not work and came one day with another $100. Said, doctor, what do you say? You have said, you have been telling I am doing it. Now what do I do? He says, I have given my consultation, thank you. I have given my consultation and thank you very much. So this is consultancy. This is the lighter side of it. So in the spiritual field also, while going into our enthuse to learn things pretty fast, See, love is an organic growth. Love cannot be mechanical growth. You can plan loving, complete your master's at the age of 24 and love at the age of 24 years, 8 months, and go around for 9 months, 27 days, then marry. This is not possible. Certain things are like organic growth. They have a law and principle of how to go up. So spiritual growth in a person is like organic growth. It is spontaneous. It takes its own time, own logic, own process. You can't dictate it by mechanistic method of taking out the wheel of a car and putting another there. So this in the process of this extra hyper, as it advertised, we must gain this. See, gaining is the issue here. Spiritualism is never a gain. It can be approached from the point of gain. It is approached from the point of feeling. A mother serving a child doesn't think every moment that I'm serving. If the mother thinks every moment, well, guys, I'm helping about I'd help the child 8 hours and 1 hour more overtime. Then the child will never sustain. Then I must go on holiday on Saturdays and Sundays to somewhere, Miami Beach or somewhere. Such child will not survive if the mother is having this view, a highly mechanistic view of management of time and process. So it has to be spontaneous. So the biggest mystery or the burden of human society is the birth of a child. If the childbirth doesn't come, human society will not be there. Very simple. And that only women can do, and that men, if they are to give birth to a child, I don't know where from. Anyway, and tomorrow I don't know what science does, what process anyway. So it has to be the biggest aspect of human creation is creation multiplying creation of a organic body which is auto growth, auto motion, auto proliferation. Organic growth means auto growth, auto motion, and auto proliferation. So that biggest thing has to be completely selfless. So God dictates or nature dictates. Therefore, the mother will die while saving the child. I've seen thousands, okay. So that is the real point of spiritual experience. If there is a process of spiritual experience and how it becomes in sacrifice, it is giving birth to a child and mother. That's what I feel. And it cannot be done by writing 3 papers on that. How to give birth to a child with all those theories. It has to be done in the process. So, this spiritual master told us that it has to be a natural, spontaneous process. Those who went to him, then he converted them through his love and tolerance and sacrifice from their limited self to a higher, wider self, and used them for the community and all others. And that is what is known as spiritualism. If you want to define what it is not taking 2 wines in the evening, spirits, and going, no. They are very spiritual people like that. So, we have seen by now, what is the motivation here? This girl sitting, I had an interview today, 3 gentlemen did interviewing the other side of the telephone, here in Asia. Then these girls of ours danced, rehearsed, practiced, ladies joined together, food they arranged, everything they arranged for all of you, for all of us. It is not a contract given. We could have given the contract, okay, Sai Temple, take a contract, give me $3,000 every month. I can build a Sai Temple if I finance and give some guy, okay, this is more profitable venture. You take it over, I sign the contract, give me $3,000 every month. Doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It loves with much more than that. The true sense of being together and helping each other. Why should people come from all these countries? We've got speakers coming from India also. You'll find in the process. So it is a retreat, means done with comfort. It is not a spiritual race, 100 meters of marathon. Okay. It is not a somebody coming giving discourses. It is not a Sunday mass here. We don't believe that. We believe very spontaneous, natural understanding of each other, and then moving toward that. I must say, hitherto, we had in the first Chicago, about 10, 12, 15 years back, the first one. There were 2,500 people for about 3 days. In the United States, to find 2,500 people, there were 500 people like this coming from all the places and also abroad to stay here and participate is not an easy thing. You know what it is. It is Monday to Saturday life. So that the fact is that they come is, I must congratulate and thank all the trustees, and we have got somebody called Sai Creative also has come from Delhi, and all that have participated here. I thank the judge, Mr. Patton. I'm told that at the age of 18 he became a judge, and is a Guinness Book of Records. Look at the gentleman, what a lofty personality has become now. He become a judge for so long, as I've told you. And what is the carry home? Everywhere you go, there must be something called carry home. What you take back in your mental inventory. As time will proceed, you will come to know, you want to feel in an environment, in an ethos, what's happening, just watch what's happening and be a part of it. Be a part of it in a natural process, nobody is forcing. And experience, you will find many other factors coming. Me coming here is I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here because the cause for which I'm standing, so many people are agreeing. And when I think that what I think, other people are thinking, it is a sense of satisfaction and security for the protection of my thought as well. That is answer. Last one concept I'll give you. Why do you eat food? Don't tell me because you want to go to bathroom. Although that is the natural organic process. Next morning. You eat food because you want to get rid of hunger. Okay. Why do you earn money? You earn money because to get rid of the pain of poverty. Am I making sense? Am I making sense to you? So you want to get rid of poverty, you are earning money. Why do you wear cloth? To get rid from the pains of inclement weather. If you like animal, you move, you will be suffer. The scorching sun of Dallas or Houston, or the biting shadow somewhere. Okay. So every moment, whatever you're doing, imagine we are trying to remove something which is painful and trying to gain something which is pleasurable. Anything you put, even God removes pain and gives you some pleasure. You may call it divine. Every moment, my friends, we are trying to remove pain and get pleasure. Okay, this is the first concept. But this is first theorem that we are doing this factually. Second theorem is that what gives us pain is bad, not to be accepted, to be avoided. What it gives us pleasure has to be accepted. We must avoid. Second thought of political science, pleasure pain theory. What gives us pain, we must avoid. So we seek for pleasure, and whatever gives us pleasure is good, what gives us pain is bad. Okay, second theory. Therefore, we must always search for pleasure and not pain. Professor Mishra is the expert in the subject. He was my senior in the college. I'm thinking as if I would rehearsing my subject now in political science, Hobbes, Locke, and Rousseau. Okay. Third theorem that there is nobody on this earth, howsoever big, who can have always pleasure and never pain. Tell me one chap on this, one guy out here who has all pleasures and no pain. Damn it. None. These are realities. If this is the third reality, the fourth is, am I prepared to bear some pain or not? If you don't, these are realities. If you are not facing them, well, pain will come. No doubts. Are you mentally prepared yourself to bear some amount of pain or not? The man who has the capability of bearing pain and yet laughing is the real guy here. This is the fourth theory. Okay. The fifth one is that every moment you are thinking of having pleasure, not having pain, but much of time is gone in thinking of what pain had happened. If most of your time goes in what pain has happened and fretting over it, how can you have pleasure now? So you are self-contradicting your theory, this theory, that we want pleasure every time, but we are not able to forget that pain. Therefore, the time and energy required for pleasure is not with us, and we blame everybody. Society is responsible. Neighbor is responsible. Parents are responsible. Husband or wife, somebody is responsible. Ultimately, nobody else, government is responsible for all the evils in the society. In this spiritual process of Shirdi Sai Baba, if you see the character handling of him, many characters came. Like Kakasab Dikshit, big lawyer. You find magistrates, lawyers, professors, Narki at the time to get a PhD in 1911. Imagine that, man. Like that. So here PhD, like professors like this. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, the independence movement leader of India, who became immortal in the history. Whenever they came to him, what was he doing with them? He was teaching them that we all must have our purpose. And in spite of pleasure and pain, let us, if we're loving something as a pleasure without causing harm to others, let us do it instead of thinking of pain and what we have not done, and write an encyclopedia of what we have not done, then rather writing a small book on what we should do. The inventory management of brain has to be a full encyclopedia of what we have not able to get, forgetting to write a small book on what we are getting or we should get, as if everything must fall my way. That is ego. Ego is not that you are shouting at people showing proud. Ego is that you are thinking that everything must fall your way. Yeah, there are two guys. You are here and that guy up there and everything is okay. That is what they taught. So the practices that give, people eating together without barriers, people helping each other with the barriers. So much of people helping Sai movement I've seen people throwing money like this. I don't take that. Just out of love and not to make their name and a photographing session and publishing a book like many of the clubs. That's the most ridiculous thing. We don't accept it at all. We don't accept it at all as a simple principle. Because we know that from the beginning he is already going in a different way. He is not going to get into it. He will be in trouble in the end of the life. Because at the end of the life you can do all these things. Let us teach people or behave in a manner to ask them to do a job even in religious spiritual field in which tomorrow they don't themselves become burden for themselves. History, literature, religion should not be such that it forces a man or guides a man that he becomes a burden on himself tomorrow, rather to make him less burdensome. That is the essence of the Sai philosophy. I don't want to go for anecdotes, I don't want to go for miracles, all that. The biggest miracle is that we are surviving. The biggest miracle that we are surviving from death and the cops every day. You never know when will accident come, when will cop will come. All respect to the cops. That's their job in any case. I was a cop. Be wary of a cop. I'm a top cop in the country. Okay. Thank you, children, who did wonderfully well here. Thank you, the people who organized them for music. Those people are doing audio, video, radio, all of them put together. For anybody, I can name all of them. I can only name the trust, this particular trust, Sai American Foundation. This is the first time in the world, in our movement, that we have had such a big function without a temple. We have temple in Minneapolis, we have Chicago, and many places. But so many people coming without a temple means we have converted this hall into a temple. Carry the thoughts of love of home to a temple, the temple becomes a home. Carry the pious thoughts of temple to home, the home becomes pious. It is a matter of mind. It is a matter of mind. Good food, good arrangements. Thank you, lady, for giving us the opportunity to listen to you. And this lady I find is very nice. And Kim is there with her son-in-law, daughter, niece,
and brother.
Oh, congratulations. And I think it's last time they are also come, isn't it? Because we have a different concept of people of different kind of white race, Indian race, all that, nothing doing. Ultimately, they are human beings. Come to the basic common. Everybody will have a hunger, everybody will procreate, civilization will go on, and everybody will go through this. Absorb them with the common denominator. Let us accept everybody's humanness as the common denominator with love and all of them. I would love to come many times. I am meeting you again. Thank you very much and have a nice day. Jai Shri Sai. Jai Shri Sai. Jai Shri Sai.